Hey guys, this is Josh Weidman for this week's training, and I want to first thank you for joining me today. And I want to, well, let's just jump right in here. I want to talk about something that I really love to discuss, and I love to spend a lot of time on, and that is putting together uh, marketing plans to generate motivated seller leads. Now, the stuff we're going to talk about today, it can be used to generate leads in a number of different areas, regardless of whether you're an agent or you're looking for more listings, whether you're a business owner and you're trying to just generate some more leads for your business, or whether you're a real estate investor trying to generate some more motivated seller leads. The overall concept here is exactly the same. So we're going to talk about the 3 M's of marketing. These are the main ingredients to create the perfect marketing campaign. So what are the 3 M's of marketing? All right, let's jump in here. So creating the perfect marketing campaign is a combination of three basic areas. And what you have here, this is a graph that shows an overlap of the market, the media, and the message. What's that look like? So what is the market? The market, these are the people that you're trying to reach with your advertising message. Basically, these are the people that, and my case, and in the case of many of the people here on this training, these are people that want or need to sell their home. I always recommend when you start putting together a marketing campaign, you want to obviously have an idea of the types of properties that you want to buy, the areas that you want to target, those sorts of things. But the people that live in those areas are who you want to attract and who you want to engage. We find that oftentimes, people that are similar end up living in similar locations. Well, what am I talking about? I'm talking about people that make a lot of money typically live in bigger houses in bigger neighborhoods, and these houses are in bigger or in neighborhoods with bigger houses. People that make median income, you've got it's a different demographic, it's a different type of property, and the same goes for lower income. In the same way, you tend to have the same types of interests in these demographics, the same types of um, income levels, the same types of backgrounds growing up. And basically you can, by learning more and more about this demographic and this market that you're trying to attract, you're able to create a marketing campaign and a marketing piece that is really going to be very effective. But defining that market is going to be the first step. All right. Next is the media. So this media or medium is the way that you're delivering your advertisement. This is the way you are delivering your message to this market of people that you're trying to attract some kind of engagement from. This means of delivery is really important to consider. Why is it important to consider? Well, let's put it to you this way. If you are looking to sell Lamborghinis, you're probably not going to put an ad in the help wanted section of the newspaper. And likewise, if you're trying to attract somebody to buy a lower income type product, you're probably not going to put that in a circular that is read by CEOs and Fortune 500 companies. It's probably not going to happen. So regardless of what your means of delivery is, it's got to match that market. It has to be something that is easily presented to this group of people. All right, once we've determined our media, now we're going to talk about the message. What's the message? Again, we're looking for a message that matches the market, the people that we're trying to talk to, that addresses their concerns, their questions, and the things that they want to hear. And we're delivering it in a way that's easy for them to accept and easy for them to, it's part of their daily life to see this put in front of them. So I've taken, anytime I do a marketing campaign, I've taken this overview, this creating the perfect combination, using the market, the message, and the media, and I've transitioned that into basically 4 steps for creating a marketing campaign. All right, and that's what we're going to look at now. We've got the overview. We understand the importance of of the market, knowing who they are, knowing the best type of delivery method to get the best reaction from that market, and then making sure that we have the right message. But how do you put those in practical application? So let's look at this. I always like to start from the back, start from the end, right? Decide the types of properties that you're looking to market for, the types of properties that you want to buy. Once you've defined those types of properties, you want to identify the problems for those sellers. Because essentially, as a real estate investor, whether you're wholesaling or you're buying properties, you want to identify problems that you can solve. If you're able to do that, you're going to be able to trade people will gladly trade equity that they have in these properties for the solutions that you're able to offer them. Next, we want to determine how we can offer them a solution. So we identify the problem and figure out how we can solve that problem. And then last, choose the best delivery method to put your solutions in front of the people who own the types of properties you want to target. Okay? So again, step number one, figure out what kind of property you want to buy. Number two, figure out the problems of the sellers that have those properties. Three, determine the solution. And four, figure out how you can get in front of them. So what types of properties are we talking about? Well, you got to determine your exit strategy, because at the end of the day, your exit strategy is going to be determinant on the types of properties. If you're rehabbing, we're looking for rundown properties located in nice areas. We want to be targeting properties in owner-occupied neighborhoods that have some sort of they've got some reason that they're challenged, that they're distressed. Whether they look bad, there's the financial issues, there's this, there's that. But this is one type of property. Another type of property are rentals. These are bread and butter type properties, 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom houses. They're the types of properties that are in decent neighborhoods, and they're typically rental neighborhoods. They might be, higher end or lower end, but these are the types of properties that the most amount of people are searching for. All right, so we're going to be able to get the highest return from that on that, the highest number of people looking for that rental. So that's a different market than this rehab area, right? We're going to be attracting two different end users. And then the third exit strategy that we look at, and that we prescribe here at REI 360, is that is wholesaling, right? Wholesaling is where I get started. It's a really great exit strategy. It allows you to have very little risk and a very high reward. But the question here is, what type of properties are those? The nice thing about wholesaling is that you can have both types of properties. I have buyers that want rental properties. I have buyers that are looking for flips. So you've got an outlet for both ends of the spectrum here. Okay. So what kind of problems do these different property types, owners of these different properties types, have? In rehabs, there's no cash to fix it up. They might be embarrassed about the condition of the property. They're worried about losing the house. Sometimes there's a lien on the property, or there's a municipal, a situation where there's a municipal decree that they have X amount of time to fix something, or they could lose the property, or maybe there's unpaid taxes on the property that it's got to go to sale. The neighborhood or the neighbors are complaining about the house. It's ugly. It's the only ugly house in the neighborhood. They can't afford to get it fixed up, and the neighbor's like, "Hey, when are you gonna fix that roof? When are you gonna when are you gonna clean up your front lawn?" Maybe they're worried about squatters, right? Let's say they're not around. Let's say they don't live in the property. Well, squatters break in, they destroy the house. That's a real problem. That keeps people up at night. They got multiple house payments, and maybe there's code violations. These are some common themes that property owners for rehab type properties, these distressed houses in decent neighborhoods, these are the types of problems that they're going to have. How about rentals? Well, rental property owners are going to have a couple problems of their own. They're probably sick and tired of lowball offers. That's one thing. Sure, they get approached by a lot of investors, and many times you got nice houses in decent areas, and other investors are giving them lowball offers. Well, if you can offer them a solution to that, they're more than willing to listen. Decent offers are okay. So in other situations, maybe the people that own properties in these areas and are looking to sell, maybe they're not getting any qualified buyers. I've run into that. Since the breakdown of the subprime mortgage mess that we went through in 2008 through 2010, 11. When the subprime mortgage industry ended, there were a whole lot of people that got left holding the bag because they were in areas that were traditionally tenant occupied, And then all of a sudden, everybody could get a mortgage. If you got a pulse, you got a mortgage. And so they got into a situation where they bought all these properties, they started rehab them, put them on the market, and just a year before, these things would be flying off like hotcakes. But now nobody can get financing, so they get stuck with all these properties that are rehabbed that nobody wants to buy. So that's a problem. Keeps people up at night. Another problem is tenants, evictions, beat up properties, unpaid rents. You know, these in my property management company, we run into this all the time. I run into owners that are just sick and tired of their properties. They just don't want the problem anymore because they don't want to deal with the tenants. So this is a great outlet for potential opportunity. Now, how do we solve these problems? We got to offer solutions. If the problem is I can't afford it, I can't afford to fix it up, hey, I buy them as is. You're embarrassed about the condition? I love buying ugly houses. No problem. It's perfect for me. Neighbors are complaining. Hey, let it be my problem. No big deal. The seller's worried about squatters. I'll take the liability. I have no problem. Lowball offers. I pay full price. Buyer's not qualified. I pay cash. I mean, all of these things rattling off like tenant problems. Let your problems be my problem. We want to offer them a solution to their problem. And as we look at this list, I mean, there's tons more of these. I'm sure you can think of probably 20 more of these just off the top of your head. But what we need to keep in mind is that when we're presenting one marketing piece, whether it's an email, whether it's a postcard, whether it's a flyer, whether it's a phone call, a letter, whatever it is, we want to attack one of these problems and address one of these problems specifically. You don't want to confuse the seller, because at the end of the day, the only way they're going to pick up the phone and call you is if they legitimately believe that you are going to solve their problem. That's the first step. If they don't think that you can solve that problem, what do they care? Really, what do they care? That's the bottom line. If they aren't convinced that you are their solution, they're not going to pick up the phone and call. So be very simple. Make it simple for the seller. I might have a marketing campaign where I'm targeting a list of junker properties. Let's say they are tax delinquent properties, just for the sake of argument. Or better yet, let's say that they are code violated properties in nice neighborhoods. I'm going to send out my first marketing piece will address the question, the neighbors are complaining. Okay? Neighbors are complaining. Hey, are your neighbors complaining about that ugly house? Blah, 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 blah. And that's the one pitch. Then we do a follow-up and we do, you worried about squatters breaking in your house? And then we do another one that is, you embarrassed about the condition of your house? It's a continually addressing possible problems. And guess what? You're going to get people that are sick and tired of the neighbors calling them and harassing them. You're going to have people that they're afraid of squatters breaking in the house. You're going to get people that are embarrassed about the condition. You're going to get people that can't afford to fix it up. All of these items, they're separate motivating factors. If you can address each one of these separate motivating factors, you'll be able to pull all of these problems out from your list of potential sellers. Okay? So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to offer them a solution. Well, who owns these type of properties? That's the next question. Who owns these type of properties? Rehabs. We got REO banks, bank REOs. We've got estate attorneys. We've got bankruptcies attorneys. We've got people that are unemployed. They got a property that they just can't keep up with it. Landlords, administratrix of estates, and heirs. Again, you can make a list that's as long as your arm. But this is just a couple examples of these types of motivated sellers. Rental properties, who owns these properties? The landlords, obviously. Heirs, people that are elderly and they're getting along in their years. Non-owner occupied owners out of state, out of town. And local banks are great for rentals. They're great for rehabs as well, but a lot of times the local banks are a resource for local investors to go and get takeout financing after they rehab a property. So now they got a portfolio, and if the guy goes belly up, now they're left with 15 or 20 properties that they have to get rid of. Guess who's going to ride in and save the day? So we want to look at who owns these type of properties. There we go. Now, how are we going to reach that market? Well, If we're looking at bank REOs, I have an email campaign to REO departments and to CEOs. You can also add in letters there and or postcards or other types of contact. Email and bankruptcy attorneys, ads in legal newsletters and websites. Realtors, realtor magazines and emails. Landlords, mail the eviction list. Elderly, put a flyer in the nursing home or local churches. Non-owner occupied properties, letters out of town, letters to out of town tax addresses. Um, you know, each one of these lists, there's the ideal place. You got to think about the ideal place where people are going to run into this information anyway. They're going to be looking in these places anyway. Non-owner occupied. Of course, they're going to be checking their mail. That's where you want to address them. Landlords, we're putting a campaign together to appeal to landlords, and of course, we're going to mail the eviction list. That's great. These are landlords with problems. The whole idea here is to find the place where these specific groups are already going to be searching. They're already going to be spending time. And once you're able to do that, now we present them with, we tug on their itch. we tug on the pain. We push on the pain and we say, oh man, do you have this problem? Well, here's my solution. Here's how I can help you. Here's my solution. Here's how I can help you. Call me here. It's really very, very simple. But a lot of times it's not well done. Most people end up putting together a postcard that they send out, and it's the same postcard that they send out to every single list. And instead of appealing to a specific group of people, a specific group of prospective sellers, they just figure they throw it out there and hope for the best. Well, by specifically targeting groups of people and groups of people that have the type of properties that you're looking for, you can very specifically target a marketing campaign for each of those people and get a much better result than just a blanket shotgun blast approach. So while you're marketing, marketing is an ongoing, continually revising and refining and redefining process. Part of every marketing campaign or every marketing budget should be trying new things. So whether you are reevaluating your current marketing campaign or you're looking at adding some outlets to your current marketing, start from the beginning and keep in mind the 3 M's of marketing. You got to consider your market, your media, and your message. When they work together properly, the results are fantastic. When they don't, they're not so fantastic. So that's it for today's training. I appreciate you being here. That's it for today, and until I see you again, I wish you the best of luck in your real estate investing.